What is happening over at Wizards of the Coast? I swear they're not going to have a Dungeons and Dragons department left at the end of this year. It really, really, really is looking like this 2024 edition rather has destroyed D&D. And everybody's jumping ship before the big layoffs all happen as Hasbro turns D&D into a lifestyle brand. That's right. Let's get into this news and, of course, talk about it a little bit. Please hit the like and subscribe button as we talk about all things D&D, fantasy news, my friends, and tabletop gaming. I'm a big tabletop gamer from way back. Actually, I started in tabletop gaming as a writer, and this then dovetailed my career into my beautiful steampunk series. So this is an airship adventure. They go out, they quest, they fight monsters, they get embroiled in a war. You know, it'd make a great RPG setting. Maybe I'll have somebody help me do that because that'd be pretty cool. But I do have this on sale, book 1 for 99 cents through the weekend. If you're a D&D fan, I think you're going to love this, especially as the series builds up. It's a 6-book series, and it's available on ebook, print, and audio for your convenience. Thank you guys so much for reading, and that's in the description below for you. Thanks again, everybody who's made my career a tremendous success here as Jess Lanzillo's career, maybe not so much. This is look at her little Dr. Evil hand gesture. That nice tabletop RPG franchise you got there. I mean, it kind of says it all, right? Now this is pretty interesting. As I said, 2024 D&D came out, and we've done some videos showing that the sales numbers are really, really, really bad. In fact, the core books are selling worse than the 5th edition last book, The Cauldron of Everything, which is kind of crazy because core books usually reinvigorate the fan base and sell better than everything else. That is what core books traditionally do. And since those have not caught on, since people are not playing this new watered-down edition, which they're calling 5.5, everybody seems to be just jumping ship at Hasbro D&D Wizards of the Coast rather than sticking with their jobs. And they're all announcing they're retiring. It's really weird stuff. Now, I covered yesterday, like I said, that Chris Perkins and Jeremy Crawford were the first two to jump ship back a couple months ago. They've now revealed that they're working on Critical Role's Daggerheart RPG, which is already in playtest. It's out there. I feel like they were kind of moonlighting on this maybe before jumping ship over there because it doesn't make any sense. And of course, to me, it's like, did they sink D&D intentionally? Because they wanted to move over there and build something with Critical Role. With that kind of a media deal, it's a conspiracy theory, but it kind of makes sense. Now, of course, there's everybody else involved with this too. There's Jason Tondro, who wrote this awful anniversary forward about Gary Gygax, blasting Gary Gygax, the original creator of D&D last year, which caused a huge controversy and huge stir across the internet, and of course made everybody hate this brand even more. And then they hire people like this who, I mean, let's be honest, it's very clear she's a feminist woke activist, and that's probably a large portion of why this 2024 edition has weird stuff in it. So if you don't know and you haven't seen everything, this was the one that got really famous last year, the Mexican orcs image. Yes. Everybody made fun of this last year pretty hard when this got revealed, where, they don't want orcs to be black people anymore, so they made them into Mexicans. Yes, and they're just happy families immigrating across the Arizona desert. Don't have your adventure parties harass them. That would be racist, after all. And so that's this came out, and it is indicative of this entire line of D&D. They not only have this in the player's handbook. There was an expose done by the Channel of Diversity and Dragons that actually counted up all of the art in there, and almost all of it was BIPOC or woman-coded or LGBT-coded somehow, and there were very few straight white males actually represented in it, which is ridiculous since the brand is 90% straight white males who play it. The Dungeon Master's Guide gets even worse, and this is where they have safe spaces now. You make an X with your arms and say the safe word, and the Dungeon Master has to actually stop the game and address your little concerns. Now, I don't know who actually threw that into the game, but this seems like a feminist weird person who would make this kind of gesture with her hands right now to put into this kind of game for sure, doesn't it? I don't know. She is the VP of the D&D franchise after all. And then, of course, we have the Monsters Manual, which we've covered as well, showing how they removed orcs completely as villains and, of course, gender swapped a lot of famous monsters just to make them, more diverse and inclusive. So this is where D&D's at, and of course it didn't sell when you have that. The 5th edition rules, nobody really liked that much to begin with. Everybody's trying to go back to like 3.5 or go back to AD&D when they get back into things because they want D&D to be what it used to be. Of course, it's never going to be when it's under Hasbro and this corporate brand. They've hired all of these weirdos in Seattle to do this exact kind of thing. So what was the result? Of course, we know exactly what's happened. Now, their business model, in addition to the woke politics into it, is to get everybody signed up for this one D&D online, which is like a subscription model where they do updates and the like, and it's like something, again, RPG players are not into. The whole point about this is to have pen and paper and not deal with this kind of thing. So when they started doing their virtual tabletop stuff, they announced they'd be laying off 30 members of that team and not finishing Project Sigil. This is kind of crazy. 30 people getting laid off is a big deal with Wizards of the Coast, and that's where it all started to collapse. Then after this, Christopher Perkins went on to Blue Sky saying, "I retire from Wizards of the Coast after 28 years, with D&D's 50th anniversary wrapping up, the revised rulebooks doing gangbusters." Yeah, right. This is the perfect fairy tale ending for me. I can't wait to enjoy D&D purely as a fan again, knowing the game is in good hands. And this is, like I said, this is just 2 months before he gets announced that he's working for Critical Role. So no, he was not intending on retiring. He was getting out of Dodge very, very obviously right before all the layoffs were happening. Now, this followed with Jeremy Crawford doing the same. Jeremy Crawford did his announcement via Screen Rant, went out there and said that. And today we get a very similar, right? And so after this, we get Jess Lanzillo posting, after 8 years at Wizards of the Coast, this is the vice president, I have made the totally reasonable decision to leave a job where I got paid to argue about whether fictional lizard people can have tails. Of course they can. Yeah, of course, quirky humor, right? Quirky. My trajectory at Wizards has been wonderfully unhinged, leading creative during absolutely wild ride with Magic the Gathering. So she screwed up that brand too. Doing business things as chief of staff, screwed up all that. And then finally getting to be VP of Dungeons & Dragons, where she screwed up that. Never let a woman into your hobbies, my friend. This is what happens. If you let them have an inch, they take a mile, and then they destroy everything they touch. I mean, that's the moral of the story right here, which is either the best job ever invented or proof that late-stage capitalism has finally achieved absolute absurdity. Take that, liberal arts naysayers. Again, she's just quirky and humorous in everything she does, trying to make it sound like it's like some kind of positive thing when this is obviously a negative thing. Wizards turns imaginary worlds into real communities, which sounds fake. It is, but it's actually the most satisfying work in the world. To everyone who let me champion this mission while constantly asking, can you add more glowies? You are perfect, and I love you. I've been ridiculously fortunate for these last 8 years, and now I'm lucky enough to, yet again, get to choose my own plot twist. Yeah, she's getting out of Dodge before more layoffs are coming. The best part about having super specific creative obsessions is that occasionally the universe decides to reward you for them more soon. Interesting. Now, if she ends up with Critical Role, we definitely have a huge conspiracy going on here. But let's be honest. Now we have three massive, big creatives at the top of D&D who are out right after all the core books come out for the 2024 edition. This does not bode well for the brand. This does not bode well for what just was accomplished. And it does go to show that there are massive problems going on at Hasbro. Now, we've seen that Hasbro, as per their financials that they release, are showing that they do have problems, especially when it does come to the D&D publishing department. Where D&D and Wizards of the Coast are actually making up ground is their licensed products. So when they license out D&D to Baldur's Gate 3, and that is a success elsewhere, they actually reap the money of that, and then Hasbro brings it back in. The publishing arm here has been underwater and causing a lot of problems for them, and that's why these are happening. So whether these are forced layoffs and they don't want to call them layoffs so that they are letting them actually just dictate their own narratives right here, we don't know, or if these people just see the writing on the wall and it's going out there, or if they're getting poached by Critical Role because they did go and torch this intentionally so that they could build something else. This is all a mystery right now, but it's all really weird timing that all of this is going on at the same time. And like she said, she's going to be making another announcement soon, so I wouldn't be very, very surprised to see what's going on. What do you think about this, guys? This is a lot. I mean, 30 people out at Project Sigil. We have Crawford. We have Perkins out. Now we have Jess Lanzillo out. This is weird stuff going on over at Hasbro and Wizards of the Coast. Big red flags for the company and big red flags for the health and continuation of 2024. And, of course, the one D&D travesty that we're all avoiding at this juncture. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Leave a comment down below. And, guys, if you want to check out some great fantasy fiction, go check this out. It's in the description below. You'll enjoy it. It's only 99 cents through the weekend, on sale for you. We'll be back soon.